Hey guys, hope you all are doing fine. So today we are gonna start with one of the important topic that is called as collection. And in this video, we are gonna learn collection framework along with ArrayList, LinkedList, and HashSet. So here I have created a class that is called as nodes. You can see here I have mentioned some of the definition of collection framework and why we are going for collection framework. So let's go through the collection framework definition. The collection in Java is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of object. Now till here it was fine. Manipulate. Now what is this group of object? So let's understand what do you mean by group of object. So till now we have seen that we can store data something like this, int I equals to 21, string s equals to my name, and something like boolean b equals to true false, just single data. But when it comes to group of data object, so what is group of object, group of data? It will be like 15, 13, 45, 67, 49, and something like this. So if I want this type of data to stored, then you can go for either array or you can go for collections. So here we are going to discuss collections, and collections provide you a lot of features. So let's see what is that. So Java collection can achieve all the operations that you perform on a data, such as searching, sorting, insertion, manipulation, and deletion. Now in this we have something called as iterable interface. So what is that? We'll see now. Okay, just let's have the definition first. So the iterable interface is the root interface for all the collection classes. Okay, so here I have taken one of the diagram which is available on the internet easily, you can see, but I'm just trying to explain you what exactly is collection framework. So this is the first class, that is iterable. Just now we read iterable. So this is what it's an interface. I'm sorry, this is interface. So this is the first. So all the blue things are, all the blue colors are interface, and all the green color represents your classes. So for in collection framework, first parent of all the collection is iterable. After that, the collection interface comes, and then queue, list, and set interface comes. You can see here, array list, linked list, vector, priority queue, DQ, array DQ, stack. These all are what? All the green colors are class. So let's try to understand now. Okay. Now we have something called as iterator also. So we'll see what's the use of iterator in the collection framework. But for now, just read this, that iterator is also an interface which provides the facility of iterating the elements in forward direction only. Important point, guys. Forward direction only. Okay. Now let me straight go and go to, first we'll start with array list. So till now we have seen arrays. Now we'll see array list. So what is array list? It's a class in Java which implements list interface. So that is called as array list. Now there are some rules inside array list. So let me straight go and create the array list for you. So array list is a class. So how do you access a class inside other class? You simply create the object of that class by using the class name and then reference variable equals to new class name, that is constructor. So let me create array list, and here in angle bracket I'll have to provide whichever data type I want to work over here. I want to work over here with integer, array list integer, and here I'll say list equals to new is the keyword for creating the object, and then array list, and then angle bracket, and then close this bracket. Now you can see we are still getting error over here. So what is the error? Hover over on this error and you can see it says that import array list package. So one more point to keep that in mind, that it comes from java.util package. Java.util package. Now since we have created array list, now we haven't even added the numbers whichever we talked about here, like group of objects. So how do you add group of object inside array list if you want to add? So there is a method that is called as list.add, and you can add if you have mention integer. Look, it's saying integer e. What is e? E represents your elements. So add over here. So let me add first 11 element I want to add over here in my list. So this is the one of the method which ArrayList has, So list dot add, and here I'll say 14. Then list dot add, and I'll say 21. Then I'll say list dot add, and then 34, something like this. So this is nothing but how you add a element inside your list. Now if you want to print these elements, simply say CISO and then just say list. Save your program, run your program, and you can see the list 11, 14, 21, 34. Now this is one way to print your list. Now one more thing we discussed over here. What is iterator? So what is iterator? It provides you the facility of iterating the elements in a forward direction only. So let me show that to you how it works in collection framework. So here I'll say, I'll say list dot iterator. There is one of the method you can see, and it is inside array list. I'll just call that method. Now that method has been called. Now here you can call any variable to store this element. So just say L equals to, I'll store this method. So what is this method return type? Same return type you have to provide to this reference variable. So just hover over on this error. Look, iterator integer. You can you have to just write iterator integer. So just write here iterator, and then in angle bracket provide the data type. So integer. That's all. But you can see it's giving you error over here. Now hover over on this error, and it will say that import this package as well in this class. I have imported this package. Now iterator has been successfully integrated in my this project. Now how do you work with iterator? So in a list you don't know how many elements are there. You don't know. Here it's example fine, you are able to see 34. Let's suppose there is a vast list and you don't know how many exactly elements are there. Then what to do? So whenever you don't know the condition, you should go for which loop? We had discussed in our earlier videos. So we should go for while loop. I'll just comment over here and I'll write whenever you don't know the limit, go for while loop. Now here I'll say while. Okay. While I'll say L dot has next. Okay. And then in this loop I'll say CISO and I'll say L dot next. And now I'll print, I'll just comment. Okay. Now I'll run my program, and you can see I am able to read through one method and through iterator method. This was from simple print statement, and this is from iterator method. So this also is done. Now let's talk about some rules. So what rules is? Rule says duplicates are allowed. I'll just rename it. Duplicates are allowed. So here I have added 11. I'll add one more 11. Let me show that to you. Is that allowed in this or not? Let me run my program, and you can see 11 has been allowed. So this one rule is fine. Now indexing is maintained. Now what is this point? Indexing is maintained. So what happens in the list whenever you create a list? So your data gets stored in the form of let me show that to you. Let me open up Paint so that I'll be able to explain you through a diagram also. So what happens whenever you create a whenever you call list array list? So what happens here? Something like this will get created inside your memory. Something like this. Okay. And what happens here? Here it says 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so on. Here for now I'll insert my values 11, 23, 44 and 55. So this is how you store data inside arrays. So what happens, this part, okay, this part is called as index. I'll just write it over here so that it will be easy for you to understand whenever you revise. This part is called as index. Let me put that in a box so that you will understand. This part is called as index, and this part, that is this 11, 12, 23 and 44, these are called as your elements. You know, these are called as elements. Okay, so this is clear now. So whenever you create any data like inside array, so what happens whenever you create inside array? So indexing is maintained. Okay, so whenever you put anything inside your your array list, indexing is maintained at 0, 11 is there. It's not like that today 11 is at 0 index, tomorrow it will be on 4. Index is fixed on 0, 11 element is present, on 1, 23 element is present, on 2, 44 element is present, on 3, 55 element is present, and so on. Okay, so now what happens, that this point is also true. Now insertion order is maintained. This we can see just while running our program. So can you see that I have added first element on 11, so 11 is added on first, 11 again duplicate added, third on third 14 is added, on fourth 21 is added, and on fifth 34 is added. So this is, there is nothing but insertion order is maintained. If I try to add over here list dot add and I'll say 1000, so this will get add in the end of the list. I can show you that. Can you see it's getting add at the end of the list? So insertion order is maintained over here. Now this is, we have read already, getter and setter. So what is that? So whenever indexing come into picture, whenever indexing comes into picture, always getter and setter will come. It's just a simple rule in Java. You should keep that in mind. So what happens? This is 0 index. I'll just mention over here so that you'll relate it. 0, and then here I'll say 1, and here I'll say 2. So like that index are there. Now if I want to access, someday if somebody comes and they will ask you, hey, what is the element at, let's suppose, third index? So what is the element here? At here the list is so small that you are able to see. But suppose you have given a project where like just say that you are accessing, try to access Aadhaar database. So Aadhaar has billion people information. So there you cannot just remember that okay, on third index 21 is present. Okay, so what happens, we have a method, something called as list dot get index, and then on this index, let's suppose I'll give third, and then I'll save, and then I'll run. So on third index, whatever it is there, it will print. So on third index 21 is there. Can you see here 21 is there? So it's printing 21. If you want to print even more better, you can say the element on the third, the element on the element on the index, and then like this you can do. Now run your program. Can you see the element? Okay, this element I have written, just pardon me, ELEMENT, the element on the index. Okay, now run your program. The element on the index is 21. You can see the element third is 21. Now we talked about getter. Now let's see about setter. What setter does over here? So we have something called as list.set. Okay, so what setter does over here? So to use setter, we use setter for existing index. Let's suppose on third we have 21. So here I'll say third, and here I'll add, let's suppose 12020 like this, and now I'll say give me my list. Okay, now let me print. Can you see here what is happening? Can you see? On third, earlier you can see in this list, this is earlier list, right? And this is the new list. So what happens? 0, 1, 2, 3. On third, earlier it was 21, now 0, 1, 2, 3. Now it is 1020. So what's the set method? Can you guess? So set method is for updating the value. Okay. Set method is used for updating the value of the existing index. Okay, so you have to practice this, then only you will get the what exactly is happening with the set method. Now there are more method inside array list. So you can just call list dot, and you can see, look, a lot of methods are there. If you want to know the list size, you can just say CISO, and here you can say the size of the list is, and then you can say here list dot size, and now you can run your program and it will give you the size of the list is 6. You can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is nothing but it's giving you size of the list. Now remember one more point with this. So your index will always be size minus 1. Why? Because indexing always start with 0. Here let me write, indexing always start with 0, and it is always size minus 1. So what will be the index of this list? This list contains 6 elements. So 6 minus 1, 5. So 5 index are there. 0 to 5 index are there inside this list, we can simply say. Okay. Now there is one more method I want to show you, that is list dot remove. I can say list dot remove. Okay. If I want to say remove, so list dot remove, and you can give the object whichever you want to remove. Let's suppose I want to remove which one? I want to remove, let's suppose 1000. So let me give the 1000 over here, and then let me ask my list over here. So how to do that? Just save this statement and then run your program, and you can see it says, okay, I'm sorry, pardon. Now list dot remove. Okay, it takes the index. Okay, I just wrote the element. So list dot remove, it takes the index, not the element. So here I'll say, let's suppose 1. Now I'll say remove my list, give me my refresh list. So on 1 there was duplicate value, so it removed the duplicate value, because it is not like it will remove duplicate. You can give any. I just gave 1. Let's suppose I'll give here 4. Let's suppose let me give 4 and then try to run my program again, and you can see 4 is gone now. What was at 4? At 4 there was 34 element inside the list. So 34 has been gone now from here. So this is nothing but how the remove function will work. Now similarly we have something called as linked list. Okay, so linked list, what is linked list? Same thing. Linked list is a class in Java implementing list and DQ interface. Okay, yeah, I can show you that in diagram. So you can see here linked list, it's implementing list as well as DQ. It's implementing both the interfaces over here, and it acts as list and queue because it's implementing the list and DQ interfaces. It is almost similar to ArrayList. All the rules of ArrayList will be applicable over here, like duplicates are allowed, indexing is maintained, insertion order is maintained, getter and setter are present, multiple null values are also allowed. So let me show that to you. How do you create a linked list? So here also, since it's a class, just write linked, list, and then in angle bracket provide the data type. I'll provide string, and then here I'll say list equals to new, and then I'll say linked and list, and here angle bracket, and here I'll say close the braces. That is all. Now it's giving you error because we have to import the java.util package inside this. Now your package has been imported over here. Now the error has been gone. Now how do you add over here? So list.add. Now here I can add, since it's a string type, I'll say Virat is the first name. Now I'll say list.add, and I'll say Rohit Sharma, another string I have added, list.add, and I'll say in double quotes always you have to give the string value KL Rahul. So these are the three values I have in my list, linked list. And here how can I print? Same thing. There also we used to, in array list also we used to print using print statement. You can see I am able to print all the now there are it is, I have written here, it is almost similar to ArrayList. So if it is similar, then what, like, is there any difference? Yeah, there is some difference. There are some method difference. So what is that method difference? So here list dot add, and here you can see add first. Add first was not there in array list. So here if you add first, so what happens? The element gets included at first place. So here I'll say add my name. Let's suppose I'll just say add my name Bipin, and then I'll say give me the list over here. Okay, now let me run my program, and you can see Bipin has been added first. So this method is there. Now there is one more, that is list dot add last. So here I'll say list dot add, and then you can see here add last. Here I'll say Sandy, one more person I have added here. Now I'll say give me my list over here. So it will end the element at the last position. Can you see? Sandy has been added last. So these are the few methods which are different from array list. And you can see here in array list we had something like list.add, and here also if you want to try list.add, you can see there is no add first and no add last. So these are the few difference in add methods. Now one more thing, let's suppose you have two lists and you have to add two lists in one list. So what happens? How do you do that? So let me create one more list. I'll just simply copy, and here I'll say list 1. Okay, so that new list will be created. Now here also I'll just add the data like this. I'll just copy so that it will be quickly done. Now I have added here, I'll say some Bumrah, and here I'll say Rahul Sharma, and here I'll say Pant. Okay, these are the three names I have inside this list. Now how do you add these lists, that is list with the list 1? You have to have list 1 elements inside list. So how do you do that? So there is a method called as list dot add all. You can see that add all. Just say add all and list 1. Now just say CISO, and then give me my list. I'm sorry, just let me print CISO and give me my list. Same thing will be applicable for even array list as well. So you should not worry how do you add. Can you see Vipin, Virat, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, now Sandy, and then 3 lists which I have added, that is Bumrah, Rahul. This has been also added. Now if you want to see how it is, so let me show you how it is. It will print differently over here. So here I'll just say let me just show you list 1. Now save your program, and can you see this is your list 1, and your list 1 is coming empty. Now let me check what is happening over here. So list 1 I have added over here. Okay, and list dot add, let me just comment it out these lines, and now let me try to print. Can you see what is happening over here? Print dot. So system dot println list one. List one has these data. So why it's giving me empty list? Why? Let me done, and it says empty list. Why? How is that possible? I have added list inside. So this is list one, list one. Let me try again. Wait, just give me 1 minute. List one. Now let me run my program. Why? What's the issue here? List 11, list 11, and then I'll say, okay, can you see what's the problem over here? You know, I don't know. So here, can you see the list one? So just put it here, list one, so that, because I was adding element in the existing lists. Can you see here? Existing. This is the list. So you should not copy paste. Whenever you copy paste, something like this will happen and your mind will go like, okay, what have I done here? So yeah. So now let me, just run my program again. And can you see these two lists are, getting printed over here. Now let me print my list one over here. Just list one. Now let me show you. So what is happening here? Bumrah, Rahul, Sharma and Pant. These are the two lists, one list, and this is one more. Bipin, Virat, Rohit Sharma, Sandy is the another list. Now the task was you have to add this list item into this list. So how did you do that? Simply by saying this method that is called as add all, list dot add all. So now here also you can have duplicates value, indexing is maintained, insertion order is maintained, getter and setter are present, multiple null values are allowed. Now you'll say, okay, then what's the difference over here? So let me take you to the diagram over here to make you understand how data gets stored inside list. So what happens here? Let me create one box, and here also let me create one box, and here also let me create a box. What happens inside, linked list? Linked list always work on the doubly linked list, and in doubly linked list these are the blocks. These blocks are called as node. Okay, these blocks are called as node, and this node has three part in it. So first part is, it will have the address of previous element. Last part will also have the address of previous element, and this part, middle part, will have the data. So first data was mine, I'll write my name, that is Bipin. So I'll just say Bipin, and here what I have, second I have, Virat. So Virat I will add over here. Now here I'll have, let's suppose I had Rohit Sharma. Let's take live example, whichever we were working. Now here what happens? All these blocks are have some memory address, right? It's not like they are allocating anywhere. So let's suppose this have memory address of 23, this has memory address of 45, and this has memory address of 67. Okay, these are just I am teaching you internal, that how things happens. Now what happens? Let's suppose this will have the address of your previous element. Since there is no previous element, so the address will get stored over as a null. Now address of previous element. What is the address of previous element over here? 45. I'll say 45. Now what is the address of previous element over here? 23. I'll add 23 over here. Now what is the address of previous element over here? 67. Now what is the address of previous element over here? 45. And here there is no element, so null will have stored over here. So this is how it is getting tagged inside memory. Now what happens? Let's suppose this is connected to this is connected to this. Okay, now let's suppose tomorrow what happens? This data gets deleted inside your memory. Now what happens here? Just the pointing gets changed. How the pointing gets changed? 45 will get cancelled over here, and new address 67 will get replaced over here. So I'll just mention 67, and here instead of 45, 23 will get stored over here, and 45 will get over with this because 45 is no more in the picture. So what happens, just the pointing gets changed over here. Whereas in array list, so this was the array list. What happens in array list? So to understand array list, you will have to assume that, let's suppose you are on a ticket counter on of train, and you are going to take a ticket, you know. So what happens? Everybody is on queue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N people are, n number of people are on the queue. So what happens? If one person gets removed, that is, if this person got the ticket, he left the queue. So what happens? All these people, they will have to shift. So this people will come to this place, this people will come to this place, this people will come to this place. So here shifting is happening. So today his index was 0, tomorrow it will be 1. To if the elements is, so here if you remove the element, all the other elements will have to get shift, because this works on this logic. Whereas here what is happening, no shifting, just pointing is getting changed. So this is the main difference between array list and linked list. So the question is, when you should go for array list and when you should go for linked list. So whenever you want to just process the data, just read the data, go for array list. And whenever you want to manipulate the data, that is, if data is getting deleted also, no problem. If you have to add any new data at any position, no problem, you can go for that time on linked list. So this is nothing but your array list and linked list. Now the last one, that is HashSet. Okay, so here I have created a HashSet class. Here you can see what is HashSet. So HashSet is a class in Java which implements set interface. Till now we have seen list interface. Let me take you to the diagram. This is HashSet class and it is implementing set interface. Okay, so this is nothing but and HashSet class is used to create a collection that uses a hash table for storage. Now it is hashing is a very big topic in itself. So here we are not going to read hashing. Here we are just knowing that HashSet stored the element by using a mechanism called as hashing. Now there are some rules. All the previous classes whichever we read, they are also having some rules. So this is also having some rules. What is this? Insertion order is not maintained over here. Till now we have read insertion order is maintained. That is, insertion order is maintained. Here also insertion order is maintained. But in HashSet you can see insertion order is not maintained. Indexing is not maintained. When indexing is not maintained, no point of discussing getter and setter. So getter and setter are not available. Here duplicates are not allowed. Null values are allowed. HashSet is the best approach for search operation. And the initial default capacity of HashSet is 16 and the load factor is 0.75. You should keep that in mind. This will get asked in the interview. Now let me create a HashSet for you. So just say hash and set, and in angle bracket provide the data type. I'll provide integer type of data type over here, and I'll say set equals to new keyword and then HashSet. And here in angle bracket I'll provide the data type. I'll say integer. Okay, here also you can give the data type, in all the things, like no problem. If you don't give also, no problem. If you give also, no problem. Here now I'll import the file so that the error gets over. Look, I have given here. If you remove also here from here, no problem, no error. It's just why to complicate? You can have like this, and you can do in this all linked list. Here also if you want, you can just say string. No problem at all. Can you see? It's just for your knowledge. I am just sharing you this. Here also if you want, you can say that I want to store integer over here. No problem. And if you remove also, because you have to specify inside in left side, that is most important. Now I have created set. Now how do you add add element inside the set? Simply set dot add, and I'll call 11, and then I'll say set dot add. Let's suppose I want to add one more time 11. Let's see the rules, and I'll say CISO and then I'll say print my set, and then let me run. Can you see only 11 because duplicates are not allowed. Now I'll say add, set dot add, and I'll say 34. Now print the, wait, what is happening over here? The semicolon, it got messed over here. Now what is happening? Just run the program, and can you see 34 11? Here look, I have added first 11, now 34 is coming. So insertion order is not maintained. It should have come like 1134, right? So this also rule is true now. Now you can store null value also over here. So set dot add, and then you can say null in your set. You can do this storage of null inside array list as well as linked list also. Let me show you. Here also you can say list dot add and null. You can do here also, no problem. You can do inside your array list also, no problem. So null also you can allow, store inside your set. Now run your set. Can you see null 3411? So don't think like it is storing data in this fashion, that from bottom to up. It doesn't maintain any order. Okay, so that's why we are just saying that insertion order is not maintained over here. So this also has some rules like set dot, and you can see add all. We have just seen set dot clear. If you do clear, your set will get clear. Let me show you. So I'll say set dot clear, set dot clear. Okay, and now you will have to specify outside it. It has, we have to call it outside set dot clear, and now I'll say print my set. Let me run my program. Can you see the set has been empty? So these are the methods that are present, and here also you have add method, add all method, right? And there are some more method like set dot many method like remove, size. Here also you can get the size. So this is nothing but, guys, your collection framework in Java. You can just try the all the methods which are available inside this or collection framework, and if you get any doubt, just let me know, guys. I'll be very happy to answer your query. So thanks for watching, guys.